We've just been joined by another gentleman, Barrister Ede Asendogwa, former chairman, Nigerian Bar Association, Benin branch. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you very much, Oyi, and good morning, listeners.
I'm just going to allow Maxwell catch his breath while I talk to you quickly. Well, at this point, we're looking at the people factor in electioneering. We understand that when you campaign, for example, naturally you're campaigning to the people. From what you hear, from what you see, I mean, you're a Nigerian, you're based here. Do you feel the people are carried along, basically?
Well, I think election and electioneering is about the people, basically. It's a common saying that democracy is a government by the people, for the people, you know, a government by the people and for the people. So it's all about the people. When people campaign, you campaign to the people. When you campaign to the people, you sell your ideas to them. You try to get them to come to your side, right, and then you try to give them reasons why it should be you. So I believe that the political parties and the candidates, as of this moment, are trying to reach out to the people, to woo the people, and then to elicit the support and eventual votes of the people. To a large extent, I believe that the people of Edo, being the kind of enlightened people that we are, we are poised. Yeah. We are being carried along. But I think the areas where we really need to talk to our people is in the area of ensuring that we eschew violence, we do it peacefully, we ensure that we carry out our civic responsibility of voting, and then in the course of doing that, we must ensure that we do not allow the process to be marred by violence or any kind of unwed conduct. And I believe that the Edo people, as at this time, very well mobilized.
We're focused on in the country for 21 years, so the voice of people heard at the time.
Well, for me, it's about physics. I personally believe that we were almost getting it. Yes, we were almost beginning to get it right. During the tenure of the President, good luck. Basically, that was based on disposition. If for his own election felt that his election was not with blood or not like that, I mean, that kind of attitude affected the elections we have during that time. Unfortunately, personally too, I believe that after he left, we went some steps backward. And for me, I believe that Nigeria and Nigerians, we will not begin to go in the right direction until we get our electoral process very well, correctly. We've seen elections, you know, held in individual states. Right. And the reports, for instance, in Kogi, and then some other states where we had cases of violence, cases of ballot snatching. At the point, we're already out of that. Yeah. But all of a sudden, we now began to see inconclusive elections. I mean, it's sad, but I think, because for me, I believe that every election ought to be an improvement of the former one. So, but where you see a situation where at this time, we are still talking about, trying to get people to say, there is no need for violence. It's important for you to come out and vote. It's important for our youths, you know, not to, we are still talking about no vote buying and no vote buying. We are still talking about ensuring that on the day of election, there is no movement. We are still talking about bringing soldiers and security men because of an election. It's sad. In some other developed countries, let me not even say developed countries. In some other countries, election is a normal thing. People go and vote, and then they go back to their places of business. For as long as we continue to say, on election day, there is no movement between this and that, it shows that we are already creating tension by that singular process. Because we believe that, when there is movement, a lot of things can happen. And so for me, I think that until we get to the point where we see elections as a normal process, where you can just go out of your home, you go to your polling unit, you make your vote, and then you go home. Everything is like nothing is happening, but we are still a long way.
Where people can, maybe during break, lunch break, go cast their vote, then get back to work.
You just want to go there, you cast your ballot, and then you are out. Okay. But the situation where the whole place is locked down, you see military checkpoints everywhere, you see police everywhere, it's that in itself, it shows that there is tension.
Okay. Let's start taking your calls now. Hello, good morning. Welcome to TMI. Yeah, your name and location, please.
Yeah, my name is Joe from Ibrahim.
All right, Joe, what's your contribution?
Yeah, I want to make my contribution.
Go ahead. Hello? Go ahead, we can hear you all right. Joe, we can hear you all right. Go ahead.
All right. First of all, I want to salute the the gentleman in the studio.
Thank you.
Now, the first thing we need to do is to strengthen institutions. When institutions are strengthened, then we can get it right. First of all, look at it. From the period when the voters' registration was done till now, people have been disenfranchised. So we need to start from there. The police also need to go away from using analog way of doing things to digitalize the way of curtailing violence in election. So these are processes. INEC need to arrive on time, going from their usual way of not coming early. So these things makes political apathy, people not to participate because they are afraid that the thing is going the normal way. So we need to address these issues. When these issues are addressed, then we can say we are moving step ahead. So thank you
so much. We appreciate. Let's do the cost just as let's ensure we take the issue without casting passion or trying to campaign or endorse any candidate on the show this morning. Hello, morning. Welcome to TMI. Please quickly name and location.
Yeah, my name is Philip. I'm calling from Benin.
All right.
I just want to know whether it has been the welcome to the like what you have said. They should put in that this period that we have to class balance.
Okay, I think we lost all the time to Maxwell on this issue. It's a theory that politicians deliberately weakening the will of people. I do that using radio efforts.
Yes, I said that earlier. That's strategy by politicians. You know, always want to always want to be there, just want there forever. So they will try to use mix to intimidate you not to come out. Now, politicians are happy if you don't come out to vote. Mainly the person that will kind of do the opposite. Maybe they have snatching of ballot boxes, something, and then increase the vote from. Now, it is difficult for you to ring the election when you have people coming out to vote on the issue because they vote the people in the election for all those. And having said that, if the people decide to come out, just like what happened in the days of Oshomole, the first time when people came out to vote en masse, and it was quite difficult for you to vote. And saying that because the margin or numbers were there to attest to the validity of the particular election. Now, but by the time you refuse to come out, you've given politicians leeway to do what they want to do. So people in this scenario must be sure that their vote count. You come out. You must get a PC. There's no for that.
That's what you asked people behind a short vote in your face.
Okay,
is that a mistake? Given the issues that we're dealing with in this country?
You saw what happened in Imo State. Had the people stood their ground and had the email representative said, I will not announce because the process has been hijacked. It was because people were there and people are tested to the fact that this thing was like this.
Are you saying we can replicate that in this election?
Yes. Defend your vote. It's your right for 4 years. Take it or you leave it. If you don't defend it, you will regret for the next 4 years.
Okay, but by the idea I said, some things are only ideal, but not realistic, given the peculiar nature of the political landscape in this country. On top of all that, you have a vast majority of Nigerians who are not politically oriented. They are not so aware about this voter education and so on and so forth. That should give us some concern, shouldn't it?
It should. We are in 2020.
Right.
By this time, we must understand that what happens to our state, what happens to us individually, is dependent on the kind of leaders that we elect. You cannot sit at your home and begin to say this country is bad, the economy is bad, when you do not participate in the process to determine those to pilot the affairs of the state. Directly or indirectly, we are all affected. If you have a good government, you will be affected positively. If you have a bad government, you will be affected negatively. And so we have a stake. And I say that the people, they are as good as the kind of government they elect. So for me, it's important that the people understand this. It's important that we all ensure, because some persons, I've asked them, are you going to vote during this election? Some will say, no, I won't come out to that day, I'll be sleeping. Some will say, no, this one that they are making, that election may be,
marked by violence
and all of that. So you find that for some of our people, that's their mentality. They see it as another public holiday. Just stay at home and rest and all of that. But it's so much more important than that. And then we must begin to spread this. Some persons did not even register. But at the end of the day, it is dependent on the numbers that actually do come out and participate in the process. So it's important that we continue to mobilize our people so that at the end of the will of the majority, we come together. That's the only way we can continue.
All right, let's continue to call down the show this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Yes, please raise your voice a little. Welcome to TMI. Your name and location. Okay, go ahead, Doctor.
I cannot die for election because I want person will come. People will be sincere to ourselves. Come out, vote, defend your vote. Why Nigeria is not moving forward today? Because people that win cannot give up. To use power to take it from him, send it to another person. But if we are following the truth, person that win, give up. Look at your
please, can we stay on the issues without mentioning names, please? Can we?
Very, very sorry.
Yes.
What I say, he
Yes.
worked for us very well that time. Because people choose him. That people's mind was in him. He could work for us. Truly, he worked for us. But this time now, it's also the same thing. He gets the man, people's heart in those things. We all understand. When we vote, let us defend our vote. That's just it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I want to make the most of the time we have because it's limited. Maxwell, they say you can't have your cake and eat it.
Yeah.
People want good governance across this country, whether it's state election, whether it's federal election, national election. They want good governance. But then again, you have people who will tell you, look, whether they give you 2,000, they give you a bag of salt, bag of rice, whatever it is they're giving you, pecuniary gains. Take it. Because by the time the man gets into office, he's going to shut his door behind you. You're not going to have access to him. He's not going to be there to work in your interest. He's going to be there to, as it were, work for his cronies, be able to recoup whatever I spent during electioneering. How do we balance this? If I collect 2,000 today, if I collect have a bag of rice today, maybe a chicken today, for example, do I still have the moral justification as being part of the people to expect good governance?
Let me go back to what the barrister said prior to 2015 or to 2019 election. Indeed, the former INEC chairman, Jaga, actually did wonderful work. And the reason why that happened was as a result of the president, the then president, Goodluck Jonathan, giving him free hand to actually work in the right way. Now you could remember after that election, several countries were calling the former INEC chairman for different lectures,
to come share with them, whatever he did.
Yes. Now, I can remember when it was publicly announced, President said something. He said, I tried reaching the INEC chairman, he's not picking my call. That was a big signal. A big signal in the sense that the election is working as at that, it was working as at that time. Now you see this quest for power. We just came into power and we want to stay there for at least as long as the PDP also did. So we need to go back to the olden days, how we used to create violence in the polling unit and etc. and etc. And that's what you've been since 2019, 2015. But my question is because the petition that the people are hungry, of the truth, take it or you leave it. 80% of those are actually hungry. Let's be realistic. It's actually hungry. Yes, that's where I expect the electoral empire to do something. They need to create body within the platform that will help them to carry out all these statistical analysis, carry out for survey. It's not having kind of one believe it because you cannot run an institution without having a body sample responsibility collecting data for you. So when you do transition, it's like telling me as INEC you don't have nothing. Is it problem? Because only this work with the people who have data. Now the best problem we have is we don't have data. Look at the case of what happened during pandemic, the pandemic era. When they don't know how many houses in one ward. They don't know how many houses in one ward. Now this week it became an issue. Okay, we're reaching with the dividend of democracy. I have a brother who lives in the world. It's not a citizen there. But during the period, you can be exact. Now the problem is because they know they always gain from it. So they are okay, we can always get the money and can always come back every 4 years and the day of election we can give 4,000. Because you have not eaten his money. If you have not eaten his money and you don't even have to eat it tomorrow, so he's giving you 4,000 will you get it?
Let's have that machine after the show. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello, welcome to TMI. Okay, sure, we lost that one. Hopefully you call back. But please just ensure you call, you say on the issue. Hello, good morning. Yeah, welcome to the program. Your man should be clear. Okay. So kind of mission is discussing the people in an election. Yes.
let us focus. And that's who are the chance of him.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I hope we bring that to bear as far as the election in particular is concerned. But when we look at the polls today, we have work to do to ensure that the people feel as impactful in practice, just in word, but in practice, in action. What they are trying to do, the people and the politicians themselves, the people who benefit from the status quo. We have to turn around and ensure that the people become stakeholders.
Well, it's a multifaceted challenge. First, I want to say that the INEC has their role, the security agencies have their role, the politicians themselves have their role, and the public also have their role. And all of these roles, all of these compartments, they must all work together for us to have the kind of results that we desire. If, for instance, starting with INEC, they don't come with sufficient materials, they don't arrive behind, they compromise, and then begin to double figures. There is even if the theory what I expected to. The security agencies either action in action. You see people fighting, carrying bombs in the face. You see what comes to ballot papers, you do nothing. Or you see the people that you are supposed to arrest because they may somehow turn your face to the other side, and there is a political process. So even if I can't everything that they have to do, the security agencies feel there's a problem. Now, the politicians, of course, from their past, they're looking for ways to the system. Sometimes that's as a result of desperation, as a result of these things they do right. And so they engage and employ all marks of maneuverings, try to get what they want. And then people, for instance, like I said, if all people say, oh, some politicians, they show you are shooting on that, no, they say, stay inside the house, we are not getting money. Who knows that if our people, the majority of people comes out and really do food, I do not stand the chance. He's going to be able to make sure that those really do not have a stake. Yeah, it's because of so Mr. One saying, so let me say, logically, if I'm supporting you, and I don't come and vote for you, I have to complain. So when the majority of the people leaving, you want us to few of them come out because the top politicians, the lawyers, those are those believe these are but the nothing is supposed to happen. The journalists, the pensioners, they just have it's convenient.
The Western election this day, scheduled 19th September. So in this we are going to continue this corruption chance that we get for the Welcome to we appreciate it. And we get very today. We'll take a few more discussions on the program.